Hey guys, Emmy Fisher here with Navy Nomad, and I figured out the third person camera view anyway. So we are on Ragnarok. Now, we're not on the same Ragnarok game as the previous game I was working on because I discovered Primitive Plus. Now, I'd known about Primitive Plus. I knew it was like a different mode that restricted you to non-tech levels and not high-tier weapons or anything like that. But that's all I knew about it. I thought that was it. What I didn't know was that it had all these extra, building tiers and designs and a variety of, storage and decor and a lot more, I guess things you would expect on a traditional homestead. Thanks for pooping in the middle of my intro. Um, more things to grow. Food drying racks and the lumber stuff and all that. Because I'd seen it, but I'd always thought it was a mod on PC. I didn't know it was actually something that was official. So I've been super psyched for Primitive Plus. It's really what I would have added to the game if I'd been given a chance. Now, obviously, there's still a few mods I'd love to work with dealing with specific building styles and the ability to do the eco trees and things like that. But this is actually going to be provide me with a lot more variety in terms of building bases. So. The other cool thing about Primitive Plus is that when you switch modes, you don't go back into your original saves. You can actually have, if you have all the DLC, 12 games running at the same time, 12 saves, which is just awesome. I'm just really ecstatic about that. So I am on Ragnarok, but this is a new Ragnarok from the one that I started previously. And this time I started in the southwest. So if we take a look at the map here, as soon as it renders in, you can see I've explored a good 2/3 of the coast. Come on, render. There we go. All right, so I'm down here in the southwest, and basically I've been looking for an idea or a place that looks kind of like Africa or Australia, and thought that the southwest might do that. Now I spawned in at the northernmost southwest point I could, because I wanted to be, not quite all the way down in the south there, because I know it gets a lot warmer there. It's a little bit more of a difficult start. This one is a really, really easy place to start. You've got these beautiful tropical sort of coves and beaches and stuff. You've got these islands out there. As you head further south, you've got these natural bridges. But up here above these rock cliffs, if you head towards the mountain there, the I think it's the green obelisk, you get these sort of high elevation plains that lead up to the forest, and you can get some RGs and stuff up there. I caught myself an RG already. Don't have a saddle for it yet, but he's there, just kind of slowly leveling up. But in any case, I'm about halfway down that point there. I'm at about 62, 20, 26, 27, something like that. And I've sort of set up a base camp here. Now I am in the process of working on what's going to become my raft boat down there, my sort of little tugboat, steamboat style thing. Because I do want to do some exploring. I definitely want to check out the sort of southwesternmost part of the southwest, but then eventually get back up to the jungle, which is where I was heading to in at the end of my last sort of Ragnarok video. Now, I haven't posted that video yet as of this second, because I don't have enough memory on my phone for it to save properly, so I'm trying to work around that and upload some videos and stuff to my drive so that I don't have to keep it on my phone. And as you may know, my internet here is ridiculously bad. It takes all night for my phone to upload a single video to YouTube. We're talking a good 6 to 7 hours. I think the best internet we get in my little town here is 3 megabytes per second. That's not download speed. That's just the best internet that I get. So I'm looking for an option, trying to find somewhere I can go that doesn't mean I have to drive over an hour away to get better internet. I'm thinking maybe a Starbucks that's about 20 minutes away. It's the closest Starbucks. But we'll find out. But I just want to give you a look of my little base, or a little homestead I've built here in this little cove before I finish building my raft and then start exploring. So this is my little garden area. There were these two sort of plateaus or cliffs here that were incredibly flat. And whenever you're building a base, if it's a small base, it usually isn't too much of an issue. But if you want to build something larger, these are really great to have. So this is actually my garden area. And these aren't all seeded yet because I haven't gotten all the new seeds that you can get in Primitive Plus. But like, we got rice here, we got our rockerets, we got, what is this, long grass, we've got tomatoes, and the citronelle, and we've got soybeans, and I know I've got a sugar cane somewhere. Where is my sugar cane? See, I've had this weird glitch happen where, like, if I log out and log back in, like, the plant will disappear. I'm not sure why it does that, so I have to, like, replant it every time I see it. It says it's fruiting. There's not even anything in here. I don't know what. Oh, it needs fertilizer. That's what it needs. But even if I put fertilizer in there, it's not going to pop back up. So some of these things I have to replant occasionally, which is kind of annoying, but, you know, I'll take what I can get. So that's the garden area. I've got a little compost bin over here. I've got my sort of water reservoirs. It is currently hooked up to the water down there right now, which I guess wasn't as far as I thought it was. But originally I put 4 down here with the idea that they would eventually fill up with rainwater. But there is that. Now let's go ahead and take a look at, well, not that, carrying too much stuff. Let's take a look at my actual little bungalow. Alright, so this is the larger sort of plateau area. I'm gonna get some chairs and stuff around this fire here. A little Dilophosaurus. But this is my little timber frame bungalow, and I'm so looking forward to building with timber in the future, because if you want to do a Tudor house, this is what you're going to use if you don't have a mod for that. So I'm really, really excited to finally making a decent looking timber house, because before Tudor house, before this I was going to have to use Adobe, and as we all know about painting Adobe, only the clay bits accept the paint, and that just looks weird, and it doesn't look the same as this stuff does. So I am absolutely loving this. Now this is my little bungalow, and I've put a walk around deck. Okay, so this goes all the way around. This is my little crafting area here. You've got our lovely hand mill. I wish I had one of these in real life. I kid you not. Refining forge. There's room for another refining forge if I get to that point. There's a whole bunch of little river rocks down in that bay there that contain small amounts of iron, so I can actually legitimately farm all the iron I really need for my building supplies down there. Got a little construction table, got our little smithy. Alright, got a nice lovely deck. Look at that view. It's amazing. Upstairs here I've got a juicer, which is not being used yet because I need to get some sugarcane juice, and apparently I'm having trouble with the seeds growing properly. Some of them stay, some of them don't. We've got our lovely little sort of drying rack or preserving bin. I love this thing. It looks so Paleolithic. We've got our timber making station. We've got a tanning station set up, although we're not using it yet. And then I can kind of park my dinosaurs over here in relative safety because nothing as of yet has fallen down there. And there's not really much up there. There's a bunch of pteranodons. Dilos are the worst thing that are going to come down here. I've seen a Diplodocus, seen a Bronto, but I haven't had anything. There's not even like any raptors or allosaurs up on that field. The most I've seen are way back up over by the mountain behind there. Are a couple of RGs and a couple of saber-tooths that have wandered down, but they haven't gotten this far. So that's kind of my little crafting station here. On the inside, this is a 2x2, alright, so it's very small. I plan to do a lot of outdoor living here. But we've got the large storage box, or in this case, the amazing looking rustic shelf system. Got my mortar and pestle over here, although the hand mill is sort of an upgrade to that. Got my cooking station here. Once again, it hasn't been used too much. We've got eggs. I did not tame this Pegomastix on purpose. He attacked me and then stole berries and then got, like, passively tamed. So he's just there for poop, basically, fertilizer. Got our firewood holder here. We've got our lovely off-the-floor bed. Yay, finally. A lovely little dresser there, the wooden cabinet. And we've got this cool sort of shingled roof. And this is what the inside of the timber buildings look like. So that is my little Primitive Plus Ragnarok bungalow. And basically the plan now is to get some more farming done, because that's been causing a little bit of an issue, and to get my raft base done. I've got an idea that looks kind of like a steamboat, little tugboat. It's kind of based on a design that Unite the Clans did. He's got a couple of really cool videos with the Arctic steamboat and the desert steamboat. I've changed mine a little bit. I wanted something a little bit wider, so I've done the three wide system. I also didn't want the pontoon parts of the raft sticking out on the sides, because I don't know if they're part of the hitbox or not. And the last thing I want is to make like a really pretty looking, you know, narrow boat and then have some sarco or shark attack me and just, you know, tear me to bits. To kind of make sure that that's kind of safe, I've made it 3 wide. It's gonna be about 3 by 7, because I think there's a limit on how far out you can extend. And once I get that boat up and running, that'll be my way to kind of move up to the jungle, which is where I want to do the next main build that I'd planned. I just ended up having to start a new game, which is why you haven't seen a video in a few days. And I do definitely, I think the first thing I want to do is actually explore down to the south, to those islands down there that are supposed to be similar to Australia. I'd like to find an area that looks like Africa. I want to find some sort of savannah area, which I think we get further south, because if at all possible with the new variety of building materials, I do at some point want to try and recreate the farmhouse from out of Africa, which, for those of you that don't know, is a sort of a memoir or book by a woman named Karen Blixen, who lived in Africa up to and during World War I. She had a coffee plantation. She was from Denmark, and they made a famous movie based on that sort of memoir of hers back in the early 80s with Robert Redford and Meryl Streep, which is a great movie about her sort of life. And I'd like to try and recreate the sort of ranch house that they had as much as I can in that movie. I think it's a beautiful house. It was a beautiful area, and I'd like to see if I can find a suitably African-looking area for that, something that looks kind of like the Masai Mara or Kenya, something along that time. Although at the time it was British East Africa. So yeah, that's what I've been doing the last couple of days. Here's a really great starter base for someone who kind of wants to get this set up, and you live in an area that doesn't have too many dangerous spawns. Make a little bungalow, a little Tudor-style bungalow, a little garden down below. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, subscribe for future building episodes. Now that I've got Primitive Plus, I'm hoping to get a lot more variety and materials and decor in as well as I can. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.